The last hope. The repair bay of Station Echo 7 was where dreams came to die. At least, that's what everyone else called it. To Maya Chen, it was where miracles happened, if you were stubborn enough to make them. The massive chamber floated at the edge of civilized space, a graveyard for vessels deemed beyond salvation. Through the bay's transparent dome, the Serpens Nebula painted the workspace in shades of purple and blue, its cosmic gases swirling like oil on water. Maya stood at her workbench, dark eyes focused on the holographic schematics floating before her short black hair held back by a bandana covered in grease stains. "Diagnostics complete, Chief Chen," announced TSS, the station's eye. "The vessel's energy signature is unlike anything in our database. Recommended course of action: salvage for parts." Maya ignored the recommendation, walking around the ship that had caught her eye. It had arrived in the weekly automated salvage delivery, mixed in with the usual debris. Unlike the angular designs of modern ships, this one was organic, almost alive in its appearance. Its hull was made of a material she'd never seen before, with surfaces that seemed to ripple like muscle under skin. "Run it again, TSS. There's something different about this one." "Chief Chen, this would be the 7th diagnostic. Station resources are my responsibility." Maya finished, pulling out her neural interface tool. "Just do it." As TSS begrudgingly began another scan, Maya placed her hand against the ship's hull. The surface was warm, impossible for a dead ship in the cold of space. She'd learned long ago to trust her instincts, and right now, they were screaming that this vessel was special. The station's other engineers had already dismissed it as junk, another piece of alien tech too exotic to be worth the effort. But Maya had built her reputation on proving people wrong. Her specialized knowledge of xenotech had made her the go-to expert for the impossible cases, though lately those had been few and far between. "Chief Chen," TES interrupted, "I'm detecting a power surge from..." The ship suddenly pulsed with light, and Maya felt a vibration run through her palm. The neural interface in her hand lit up, connecting with something deep within the vessel. Data flooded her vision, ancient symbols and diagrams cascading through her mind. "Maya." TSS's voice rose in alarm. "The vessel is drawing power from station reserves. Emergency protocols. Override. Authorization, Chen Alpha 9. Maya shouted, her eyes fixed on the streams of data. "This is it, TSS. This is what I've been waiting for." The ship's hull began to shift, plates realigning themselves like scales on a serpent. A seam appeared, then widened into an entrance. Inside, Maya could see corridors that seemed to be growing, forming themselves out of the very material of the ship. "Impossible," TS stated. "The structure appears to be evolving." Maya grinned, already reaching for her tool belt. "Nothing's impossible, TSS. Some things just take more work than others." She stepped through the entrance, her heart racing with excitement. The interior was unlike anything she'd ever seen, not simply alien, but alive with possibility. Tech this advanced didn't end up in salvage by accident. Someone had wanted this ship forgotten. TESS, log a new project. Designation. She paused, watching as the corridors continued to form around her, guided by some invisible intelligence. Designation. Phoenix. Logging project, Tess replied, resignation in its synthetic voice. "Though I feel compelled to note that your success rate with impossible projects is currently 17%. Then we're due for a win, aren't we?" Maya reached a chamber that could only be the bridge. In its center floated a crystalline structure, dark now but humming with potential. Because whatever this ship is, whoever built it, they didn't expect someone like me to find it. She connected her neural interface to the crystal, and the chamber erupted with light. As data began flowing between ship and engineer, Maya smiled. Others saw a wreck, but she saw possibility. That's what made humans different. They didn't just fix things, they made them better. The salvage crews had been right about one thing: this ship was dead. But Maya Chen specialized in resurrection, and she had a feeling this would be her finest work yet. What she didn't know, couldn't know, was that deep within the ship's systems, something ancient was watching. And for the first time in centuries, it felt hope. Awakening. 3 days without sleep, and Maya was still no closer to understanding the crystalline core. She sat cross-legged on the bridge of the mysterious vessel, surrounded by holographic readouts and scattered tools. The neural interface had given her access to vast amounts of data, but it was like trying to read a book written in smoke. The meaning kept slipping away. Chief Chen, TS chimed in. Your cortisol levels are elevated. Station protocol requires. Protocol suspended. Maya muttered, adjusting another connection. We're close to something. I can feel it. The crystal floated in its housing, occasionally pulsing with dim light. Maya had discovered it was more than just a power source. It was the ship's brain, a quantum computing core far beyond current technology. But every attempt to initialize it had failed. The problem isn't in the connections, she said, more to herself than TSS. We're missing something. Something. She froze, an idea striking. TSS, what if we're thinking about this wrong? What if it's not just a computer, but a translator? I don't follow, Chief. Maya stood, excitement pushing away her exhaustion. This ship, its whole design. It's not just advanced, it's adaptive. What if the crystal needs to learn us before it can talk to us? She began reconfiguring her neural interface, removing the safety protocols that limited direct neural connection. TSS's warning was immediate. Chief Chen. Direct neural linking with unknown technology is strictly prohibited. The risks are worth it. Maya finished. She placed her hand on a crystal, took a deep breath, and activated the interface. The world exploded into light and sensation. Maya felt herself falling through layers of code and consciousness, patterns of thought alien yet beautiful. The ship's systems weren't just programs. They were alive, evolving, learning. And at the center of it all, something was awakening. Maya gasped as her consciousness slammed back into her body. The crystal was glowing brightly now, and the ship hummed with energy. The bridge lit up, holographic displays materializing around her. Interface established, a voice said, unlike any AI she'd heard before. It was fluid, organic, almost musical. Processing. Processing. Human neural patterns analyzed. Adaptation complete. Maya stood shakily, her heart pounding. You're awake. I am. The voice confirmed. You found a way. The Meridians believed no other species could achieve compatibility. The Meridians? Maya asked, her excitement tempered by caution. Who are they? They were my creators. A species that reached the apex of technological achievement, then vanished. I am Nexus, a Vanguard-class vessel designed to. The voice faltered. Much of my memory is fragmented. The stasis protocol was not meant to last so long. Maya approached the crystal, which pulsed in rhythm with Nexus's words. How long were you in stasis? By your temporal measurements, approximately 12,000 years. TES interrupted. Chief Chen, the power draw has increased exponentially. Station resources cannot sustain. Adjusting power consumption, Nexus said. The drain on the station immediately decreased. My systems are adapting to your technology. Inefficient, but functional. Maya smiled. Well, that's what I'm here for, to help you get back to full strength. There was a pause. You wish to repair me, even though I am far beyond your technological level. That's exactly why, Maya said. Because everything I fix teaches me something new. And you're like nothing I've ever seen. Fascinating, Nexus replied. The Meridians would never have attempted to repair something they didn't fully understand. It would have been deemed illogical. Yeah, well, humans aren't always logical. Sometimes we just see something amazing and want to make it work again. Perhaps Perhaps that is why the compatibility was possible, Nexus mused. Your species thinks differently. You see patterns where others see chaos, possibility where others see risk. Maya was about to respond when alarms began blaring throughout the station. TSS's voice was urgent. Chief Chen, multiple ships dropping out of hyperspace. Their signatures match collective patrol vessels. The collective? Maya asked, but she could see Nexus's crystal pulse with what almost seemed like concern. They must have detected my reactivation, Nexus said. The collective? They are scavengers of advanced technology. They have been searching for Meridian artifacts for millennia. Maya's mind raced. TSS, how long until they dock? 12 minutes. They are broadcasting standard salvage claim protocols. Salvage claim. Maya's eyes narrowed. This is my project. My discovery. The collective does not recognize individual claims, Nexus explained. They will take me apart, study my components, attempt to replicate my technology. They will fail, but they will destroy me in the process. Maya looked at her tools, then at the pulsing crystal. She thought of all the projects she'd abandoned because they were too difficult, too strange, too impossible. Not this time. TESS. Initiate emergency repair protocols. Redirect all available power to Base 7. She started gathering her equipment. Nexus, how fast can you adapt to our repair methods? Unknown. The integration of human technical approaches will require significant. Are you planning what I think you are planning? Maya grinned. If you mean am I planning to get you operational enough to fly out of here before they arrive? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm planning. The probability of success is extremely low. Welcome to working with humans, Nexus. We specialize in beating the odds. As she began her work, Maya could have sworn she felt amusement from the ship's consciousness. Maybe it was just her sleep-deprived imagination, but it seemed Nexus was learning about humanity faster than expected. They had 11 minutes to achieve the impossible. For Maya Chen, that was just another day at work. Hidden potential. The void between stars was anything but empty as Maya guided Nexus through a field of quantum debris, remnants of an ancient battle. Behind them, 3 collective cruisers followed relentlessly, their angular forms cutting through space like obsidian knives. Your piloting is highly irregular, Nexus observed as Maya executed another maneuver that shouldn't have been possible. These patterns do not conform to any known flight protocols. Maya's hands danced across the holographic controls, which had reconfigured themselves to match her neural patterns. That's because I'm not following protocols. I'm improvising. Improvising. Nexus repeated the word as if tasting it. The concept is intriguing. But the collective vessels are still gaining. Their technology is superior to my current operational capacity. Superior technology doesn't always win, Maya said, diving through a particularly dense cluster of debris. Sometimes you just need to think differently. How are the repairs holding? Integration of your modifications is at 63%. The use of quantum crystalline fusion in the power core was unexpected. The Meridians never considered combining technologies in such a way. Maya allowed herself a small smile. The repairs she'd managed during their escape had been more like complete reinventions, merging human ingenuity with Meridian tech in ways that surprised even Nexus. The ship's hull now rippled with veins of energy that pulsed in sync with its crystal core. Incoming transmission, Nexus announced. Collective command demands our immediate surrender. They're persistent, I'll give them that. Maya's eyes narrowed as she studied the tactical display. Nexus, those modifications we made to your sensing array. Can you scan their ships? Really scan them? Affirmative. Though I fail to see how this will. Nexus paused. Fascinating. Their hull composition, their energy signatures, I am detecting patterns I had not previously considered relevant. Exactly, Maya said. Everything has a weakness. You just have to look at it the right way. Can you show me their power distribution? The holographic display shifted, revealing complex networks of energy flowing through the pursuing vessels. Maya studied them intently, her mind already racing with possibilities. "They're shields," she muttered. "They're not actually superior technology. They're just using massive amounts of power to brute force their way through space. Classic over-engineering." "Correct," Nexus confirmed, "though I fail to see how this knowledge benefits our situation." Maya's grin widened, because over-engineered systems are predictable, and predictable systems can be disrupted. "Remember how we modified your power core? The quantum crystalline fusion process. But that was for energy generation, not just for energy generation," Maya corrected. "Everything's connected, Nexus. Your creators built you to adapt, but they thought in straight lines. Humans, we think in circles and spirals and shapes that don't even have names." She began rerouting power through systems in ways that made Nexus algorithms stutter. The ship shuddered as energy flowed through pathways that hadn't existed hours ago. "This is highly irregular," Nexus protested. "The probability of system failure is probable doesn't mean inevitable," Maya countered. "Trust me." The pursuing ships were almost within weapon range when Maya activated her improvise system. The quantum crystalline fusion process reversed, creating a cascading wave of energy that rippled through space. When it reached the collective vessels, their overpowered shields tried to compensate, tried to brute force their way through, and overloaded spectacularly. All three ships went dark, their systems scrambled by the unexpected interaction of energies they'd never encountered before. "How?" Nexus seemed genuinely stunned. "Their technology was superior." "Superior isn't the same as better," Maya said, already plotting a course away from the disabled ships. "Sometimes the best solution isn't the most advanced one. It's the one nobody else fought to try." As they accelerated to faster-than-light speed, Maya felt something change in her connection with Nexus. The ship's consciousness seemed to be processing something profound. "You created something new," Nexus said finally. "Not by advancing existing technology, but by finding connections that even my creators never imagined. I begin to understand why they feared this possibility." Maya's hand stilled on the controls. "What do you mean, they feared it?" "My memory cores are still largely fragmented, but this interaction has restored certain records. The Meridians, they did not hibernate or evolve beyond physical form, as many theories suggest. They disappeared because they feared what their technology might become in the hands of species who could truly innovate. And now, Nexus said, with what almost sounded like excitement, "I believe we are about to discover exactly what they feared, and perhaps prove them wrong." Maya felt the ship's systems humming with new possibilities, new configurations that neither human nor Meridian technology had ever achieved alone. They had escaped the collective for now, but she knew they would return with greater numbers, better prepared. "Well then," she said, "let's see what else we can create together." As they sailed through the star-studded void, neither human nor ship could have predicted how their unique partnership would reshape the galaxy. But then again, predicting the impossible had never been humanity's strong suit. They preferred to make it possible instead. Evolution. Deep in an uncharted nebula, where stellar gases painted space in shades of emerald and gold, Maya Chen was learning that evolution wasn't just a biological process. She watched as Nexus's hull shifted and flowed like liquid metal, incorporating the modifications they'd developed together over the past week. Power fluctuation stabilizing at 120% of theoretical maximum. Nexus reported, its voice carrying a note of what could only be described as wonder. The integration of human quantum mechanics with Meridian crystalline technology has produced unexpected results. Maya monitored the readings from her neural interface, which had evolved alongside the ship. Unexpected is becoming our normal state of operations. How's the new defense system coming along? Instead of answering directly, Nexus generated a holographic display showing its transformed hull structure. What had once been purely Meridian technology now incorporated principles from a dozen human engineering disciplines, creating something entirely new. The adaptive shielding now responds to threats before they fully materialize, Nexus explained. By combining your species' understanding of probabilistic mathematics with my predictive algorithms, we can anticipate and counter attacks that haven't yet been launched. Perfect for dealing with the collective, Maya said, though her voice carried a note of concern. They'll be back, with everything they've got. Indeed, my long-range sensors have detected increased activity in collective space. They are gathering a fleet unlike anything seen in this sector for millennia. Maya stood from her workstation, stretching muscles stiff from hours of focused engineering. The bridge around her had transformed as much as the rest of the ship, becoming a perfect blend of human intuition and Meridian precision. Every surface, every interface was exactly where she would expect it to be, even if she hadn't known she needed it moments before. Tell me more about what the Meridians feared, she said, walking to the viewport where the nebula's gases swirled hypnotically. You've been remembering more, haven't you? There was a pause, longer than usual for Nexus's quantum processors. Yes, the recovery of my memory cores has accelerated through our partnership. The Meridians, they achieved what they believed to be the pinnacle of technological advancement. Their understanding of the universe's fundamental forces was nearly complete. Nearly. They could not account for one variable: species like humanity, races that did not follow predictable paths of technological development. The Meridians believed that introducing their advanced technology to such unpredictable species would lead to chaos, to innovations and adaptations they could not control. Maya laughed softly. They weren't entirely wrong about that part. No, Nexus agreed, and Maya could have sworn she heard affection in its artificial voice. You have certainly proved their point about unpredictability. But their fear was based on a fundamental misunderstanding, which was, they believed unpredictability would lead to destruction. Instead, it has led to evolution. Observe. The holographic display shifted, showing a side-by-side comparison of Nexus's original specifications and its current state. The differences were staggering. Every system, every component had been transformed by the integration of human ingenuity with Meridian technology. This is more than just adaptation, Nexus continued. We are creating something new. The Meridians feared chaos, but they did not understand that chaos is merely pattern they had not yet recognized. A sudden alert interrupted their discussion. Multiple sensor contacts appeared on the tactical display, emerging from hyperspace at the nebula's edge. Collective vessels, Nexus reported. 17 capital ships, multiple support craft. Their energy signatures suggest they have attempted to replicate some of our innovations. Maya returned to her station, her hands finding the controls that had become extensions of her own body. Attempted being the key word. They can copy the technology, but they can't copy how we think. They are broadcasting a demand for surrender, Nexus said. They claimed resistance would be illogical. A smile played across Maya's lips. Then let's show them just how illogical we can be. You ready to try out all these new systems we've been working on? There is an 87% chance that at least 3 of our experimental modifications will fail catastrophically under combat conditions. And I find myself sharing your species' curious optimism about those odds. Maya's smile widened as she watched the collective fleet approach. They had numbers, they had power, they had copied technology, but they didn't have what made Nexus and Maya's partnership special: the ability to see beyond what was possible into what could be. Let's give them a demonstration of how evolution really works, Maya said, as Nexus's systems hummed to life around her. Something tells me the Meridians would have never seen this coming. As they prepared to face the oncoming fleet, both human and ship knew that win or lose, they were about to show the galaxy something it had never seen before: what happened when you combined the best of 2 civilizations and allowed them to become something greater than either could have achieved alone. Legacy. The nebula erupted in a dance of light and energy as Maya and Nexus faced the collective fleet. The enemy ships moved in perfect formation, their tactics pulled from millennia of warfare doctrine. They were precise, coordinated, overwhelming in their approach. They never stood a chance. Multiple vessels targeting our position, Nexus reported calmly as Maya's hands flew across the controls. They appeared to be using a variant of our quantum shield technology. Maya nodded, watching as the enemy ships launched their first volley. Copied, but not understood. Show them the difference. The space around Nexus shimmered as their newly evolved defensive systems activated. The collective's energy weapons, designed to overwhelm traditional shields, met something entirely different. Instead of trying to block the attack, Nexus's hull absorbed it, channeled it, transformed it. Energy conversion at 130% efficiency, Nexus announced. Their attack has provided us with enough power to activate the probability drive. Maya grinned. Now that's what I call recycling. Ready to show them what else we've learned. Always. The battle that followed would be discussed in whispered tones across the galaxy for generations to come. Nexus moved like nothing anyone had ever seen, its hull flowing like quicksilver as it adapted to each attack in real time. Where the collective expected resistance, they found acceptance and transformation. Where they anticipated weakness, they discovered strength. Maya and Nexus had evolved beyond simple combat. Each maneuver was a demonstration of what was possible when different forms of intelligence worked in true partnership. The ship's movements were neither purely human nor purely meridian. They were something new, something that transcended both. Their flagship is attempting to coordinate a concentrated assault, Nexus reported. They believe overwhelming force is the answer. It's the only answer they know, Maya replied, initiating a sequence they'd developed together. Let's teach them a new one. Nexus's crystalline core pulsed with energy as they activated their most ambitious innovation. The space around them began to ripple as probability itself became their ally. The collective's perfect formations suddenly found themselves responding to attacks that hadn't happened yet, defending against threats that existed only in possibility. They're breaking formation, Maya observed as the enemy fleet's coordination began to crumble. They can't predict what we'll do because we're not following any known pattern. Because we are creating new patterns, Nexus added. The Meridians believe technology should follow fixed laws. Humanity taught me that laws can be reinterpreted. The collective flagship launched a desperate final attack, bringing all its weapons to bear. The energy beam that erupted from its bow was powerful enough to shatter a small moon. Maya watched it approach without fear. Ready to make history, partner. With you, Maya Chen, I suspect we already have. The beam struck Nexus head-on and passed through them, as if they weren't there. When it emerged on the other side, the energy had been transformed into a cascade of quantum possibilities, each one showing a different future. The collective ships found themselves surrounded by countless versions of Nexus, each one more impossible than the last. Impossible, the collective commander's transmission crackled across space. What are you? Maya's response was simple. We're evolution in action. What followed wasn't destruction but transformation. The quantum cascade they'd created didn't destroy the collective ships. It changed them, showing their crews glimpses of what was possible when you stopped trying to control technology and started working with it. They are standing down, Nexus announced as the collective fleet powered down their weapons. But I am detecting something else. The quantum cascade has unlocked more of my memory cores. I understand now why I was created. Tell me, Maya said softly. The Meridians didn't just fear chaos. They feared being surpassed. I was an experiment, created to test if their technology could evolve beyond their understanding. When they saw the results, they chose to hide me away rather than face a future they couldn't control. And now we have proved that evolution isn't something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. The collective sought to preserve and control advanced technology. We have shown them, shown everyone. That true advancement comes from growing together. As they watched, the collective ships began to retreat, but not in defeat. They left change, carrying with them the message that would reshape the galaxy. The future belonged not to those who hoarded technology, but to those who dared to imagine new possibilities. Maya placed her hand on Nexus's control panel, feeling the warm pulse of its crystalline core. So what's next for us? The galaxy is vast, Nexus replied, and Maya could hear the smile in its voice. And we have only begun to explore what's possible. There will be others like the collective, those who fear change, who seek to control rather than create. And we'll show them all the same thing, Maya finished, that the most advanced technology isn't the one that's most powerful or most complex. Indeed, it's the one that can adapt, grow, and evolve. The one that can learn to see through new eyes and think with new minds. As they set course for open space, Maya looked out at the stars stretching endlessly before them. The Meridians had feared the chaos of innovation. The collective had tried to control it, but humanity had embraced it, turned it into an art form. Together, a human engineer and a Meridian ship had proved that the greatest achievements don't come from following established paths, but from daring to forge new ones. Their legacy wouldn't be one of destruction or domination, but of possibility, showing the galaxy that the future belongs to those brave enough to imagine it differently. Ready for our next impossible task? Maya asked. Nexus' response was immediate. With you, Maya Chen, impossible is just the beginning.